name is Carmen Maurer. I'm a nature photographer and I belong to the Cowtown Camera Club in Fort Worth. I compete at the master level. I am the PJ representative for our club for the Gulf States Camera Club competition. Last year I judged photojournalism prints for PSA. I judged your camera club's PJ images by the definition of photojournalism set by the Photographer Society of America, PSA. Photojournalism images should consist of pictures or sequences with informative content and emotional impact, including human interest, documentary, and spot news. The PJ value of the photograph should be considered over the pictorial quality. I enjoyed judging these images for your club, and I thought it was a good set of images. So let's get started. Begin judging at the beginner's level and the non-placing. So the first image is White Rock Park Winter's Day Stroll. I thought this image could be improved by cropping at least the bottom third of the image off, and that the subject matter is getting lost. Next non-placing image is the Paleo Parade. This picture has a lot of nice color to it, but I feel like it's somebody's vacation shot, and that maybe if there was the photo included more of the paleo, more emotional content. The first honorable mention goes to the Selfie Empire, the score of 9 points to Karina Johnson. I like this photo because the subject is sharp, it has good lighting, and I think the title really describes this image and how selfies they've become an empire. Next honorable mention is Going the Distance, the score of 9 by Catherine Moulton. This is a strong documentary PJ picture, but I can't exactly tell what the story is. Maybe if the flag on the left, I could have seen more of that. I know there's a story there, but I'm just not sure what it is. The third place image is Life After the Fire, score of 11 by Denny Farmer. I think this is a good documentary shot, and it shows hope after destruction, and I think the photographer worked this well. It has good exposure. The second placing image is Don't Let Go, score 13 by Annual Daniel. I think that this photo has good lighting, it's good exposure, and it's good capture, and it's got great colors. First place image is Black Lives Matter rally at downtown Dallas on 7/7/2016. I gave this a score of 14 to Winchie Lee. I think this image does show a lot of emotion while the lady looks defiant, while she looks at the police officer, and the police officer looks like he's just focused on moving forward. I'd like to applaud your club for getting out to all these rallies and protests, and that there's a lot of time right now for excellent PJ opportunities. The only thing I would have to say about this image is I would have cropped it at the top to remove the two lights on the left. Now we're going to move on to the intermediate level of the competition, and I'd have to say that this level did have a lot of strong images. First non-placing image is Looking Silly with a score of 6. And the reason why I scored this one so low is because I feel like this is staged, that these aren't, true expressions, and I didn't think it really qualified as a PJ shot. The next image is Hard Left with a score of 7. I thought that this, because the car looks so stagnant, that it just lacks any kind of visual impact. Police confront gay pride parade protesters. I gave a score of 9. I think the signs are impactful. There's a lot of bright color in the signs, but I don't see a lot of emotion. Things worth going to the state fair for. I scored a 9, and what I do like about this, I like the angle that the photographer used, and I like all the color. Again, I would have cropped this one at the top to remove the bright white light, because that's where your eye goes, and so that's leading your viewer out of the picture. For this guy, I gave a score of 10. I think it's a pretty good image. It's colorful, but there's not much emotional impact. Street Singer in Marseille, I gave a score of 10. I think this has a nice lighting on it, and I kind of like the guy down in the corner, and in the shadows and his expression. It kind of makes you wonder, is he part of the band or just what is he thinking? Camel du jour, I also scored 11. I think this is a good human interest photo. It's very original. It's insightful into another culture. I like the poster and then the camel head. It's kind of like a good before and after photo. The best bike tour in the world, I gave a score of 11. I like the shadows in this photo. I like the starburst. I think it's a good use of wide angle and it's an interesting photo. Winter Comes to North Texas, I scored of 11. I like this photo. I feel like I can feel the cold and I like the use of the black and white. There was just really a lot of good images in this category. Delivery for Hide and Antler and Hide Company, Custer, South Dakota. I gave a score of 12. I think that this is another original photo, and I like the timing of it. That the pickup truck is there delivering all the antlers, and that I also like the black and white treatment on this photo. First place is Thank You with a score of 15 by Debbie Conard. I really like this image. I think it has many elements working for it. It has the strong geometrical elements. It has, the salute, and it has a feel of patriotism about it, and also generational feel. And again, it's the three people in the salute that keeps your eye moving, keeps your eye focused on this image. And it's a beautiful black and white. The first honorable mention is Weighing In with a score of 13 by Joyce Mangum. I like this image. I think it's a good human interest moment, and that I like the black and white treatment that kind of gives it a timeless feel. And I think this moment, the beginning of life, is what makes this image so powerful. Third place goes to is Determination with a score of 14 by Aaron Lesher. And I really like this image, and it is the title fits really well. The lady in the wheelchair. Both ladies have, expressions of determination, and I think that the lady on the left, she seems determined to support the other lady, and I think it's a good use of depth of field because the subjects are sharp while the other people are out of focus, and it's also a good placement of subjects, and it's just overall a good image. The second place winning image is Cowboys with a score of 15 by Parvin Styles. I think this is a very good image. It's technically well done. The exposure's good. I like the expression. Really draws you into the photo, and I like how the the cowboys and the person doing the shoe shine, how it creates a triangle and how they're looking at each other, and it holds you in the photo. It holds your interest. And I also like the tones. First place is Thank You with a score of 15 by Debbie Conard. I really like this image. I think it has many elements working for it. It has the strong geometrical elements. It has, the salute, and it has a feel of patriotism about it, and also generational feel. And again, it's the three people in the salute that keeps your eye moving, keeps your eye focused on this image. And it's a beautiful black and white. Next, we're moving on to the advanced level of the competition. And first non-placing image is Waiting for the Moment. And I know exactly where this is. I've been here and I've waited too. But other than that, there isn't a lot here to hold the viewer's interest. I know the white sky is part of the photo, but there's just really not much here. I gave it a score of 8. At the Street Corner, score of 9. I like the color and the Coca-Cola sign gives you a sense of place, but to me, there's not maybe if I could see more of the person, there would be more of an emotional impact. Bachelorette Party in France, I gave a score of 9. This is a fun moment, but I think it would have been better if the picture had been taken at a different angle instead of the photographer standing off to the side. I think it would have been stronger if we were looking more at our main subject, the camera more at their face. Dog Days of Summer, I scored with a 9. The person here, I mean, it's nice lighting, and the person here is showing some concern for his old dog with the fan. And then you look at the bowl and you kind of wonder, is that for people to throw money in, or is that a water bowl for the dog? Or honorable mention, The God's Dive, score 10 by Ron Lynn. I think that this image, it's a good use of the shutter speed. They froze the action. They caught the guys in midair going into the water. But I wonder if the photographer tried to capture too much, and then if this image would have been cropped tighter, we would have more of that action. Maybe crop the right side. Third place is Uncertainty Reflected from a Village Boy's Eye with a score of 10. I think this image would be much more powerful if all the white was cropped off on the left. I kind of did this on my monitor, and it puts a lot more emphasis on the boy and his expression. Second place is Mother and Child Cozumel with a score of 11 by Valerie. When I first looked at this image, my reaction was yikes, and that this is kind of scary, because if you look at the image, all adults are wearing helmets where this baby is kind of just hanging off to the side. First place, Natural and Man-Made, score 12 by Jim Spencer. What I like about this image is the opposite, is that we have some, just like the title says here, we have the man-made and we have the natural. And what makes it a strong image to me is, that this is just showing the possible pollution of such a natural space. And then I think one thing that can make this image stronger is to crop off about a third of the left-hand side. It just looks like empty space to me. Now moving on to the Masters division of the competition. The first non-placing image is Beer and Soccer and Life is Good. I gave this a score of 7. Again, because I feel like this person is posing for the camera, and I think this would have been a better PJ if the fan was showing some emotion for the sport. And I gave him a 7 because he does look like a character. But again, if he would have been more involved with the sport. In this park, I think, to me this image looks like a snappy. The photographer has cut off the subject at her ankles, and I think it could have been better photographed around and got a better angle, looking more straight on to a person instead of off to the side. Dallas Aurora Patron Inspecting Art Installation. The score is 7. Now, it's got great color, but it lacks emotionally. Bad Hair Day, a score of 8. This is a documentary shot of the weather, but I think it could have used foreground. I don't think the title really matches the photo. He's Out, I gave a score of 8. Don't really know what sport they're playing here. I wish I had more of a clue, if I could see a ball or something like that. And everything is out of focus on this image. Millenniums, 40% now have a tattoo, scored an 8. This is a very colorful image. It shows human interest, and it's a shot showing another culture. Bicycle Worker, a score of 9. This image has good leading lines, and it has nice lighting, but it lacks emotional. Participant in Cusco Parade. Now, this is a very colorful image with lots of detail. It's a good placement of the subject, and I like the use of the depth of field. The subject is in focus, while the rest of the image is not. Pig Scramble at the Fair, scored a 9. I like the leading line into the image, and I like it was a good use of the shutter speed to stop the action, and there's good expression on the children's face. Nightfall, score of 11. This is a good action shot, good use of the shutter speed. The action's been stopped. I think it would have been a better shot had we seen the writer's face instead of the back end. Sometimes you just have to take a lot of shots to get that kind of action shot. First honorable mention is Second Amendment, score of 11 by Don Chaplin. This is a serious subject matter, and I think that's reflected by the seriousness, the serious expressions by the man holding the gun and the flag. Next honorable mention is Dakota Access Pipeline protest at 2017 Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah. Gave this a score of 12. I think that, this is another good PJ of a protest. These people out there protesting in the extreme winter conditions. And I also like how the ladies' arms are linked together. Third place, Give Me a Boost, score of 13 by Dennis Fritsch. What I like about this image is I like the look of the determination on the player, and that I like that it's a good title, that they did give him a boost, that this player is, lifted pretty high in the air, and I like all the color and the action of it. Second place is Homeless in San Francisco with a score of 14 by Larry Petterford. And what I like about this image is that this person is looking directly at the viewer, and I think this is what was missing from a lot of other similar pictures in this competition. And I think it's an excellent black and white, and this is a good image. First place is Dissenter, New York City, 11/23/2016. Give this a score of 15 by Jose Artiez. I think this is a very strong PJ image. I think the image itself tells a story. I like how the person is standing defiant against the gold Trump Tower and the establishment, and how the Christmas wreath inside the building. You would think that's peaceful, but while outside it clearly isn't peaceful with the protester and the armed police. And I think all the black colors on the outside add to the dark mood of the scene. And then lastly, I think that this photo demonstrates free speech in America, because this person is standing outside this tower while the police stand by. The best of show image is Dissenter, New York City. And I had a really hard time choosing between this photo and Thank You photo.